Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Gizmo Joe. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a USB-C hub by Sabrent, or I'm not really sure if I'm saying that correctly. If I'm not, let me know in the comments. But basically, this is one of the cheapest USB-C hubs that you can find on Amazon. I believe right now you can pick it up for about 15 bucks, but I think I purchased it even cheaper because there was a coupon. I think I got it for like 12 or $13. That's US dollars, by the way. But, USB-C hubs are, really sort of a necessity nowadays. I mean, a lot of laptops obviously are thinner, et cetera, et cetera. They have less and less ports, and so getting something that will enable you to connect all of your little devices, as well as provide a display out, is almost necessary. What's also cool is if you have a phone or a tablet that supports, display out via USB-C, you can use one of these guys to do that. So you can essentially chuck your tablet or your phone up on your television screen or your computer monitor or whatever. But like I said, this is one of the cheapest ones that you can get. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the packaging, and then we're going to open it up, and we're going to see what we're working with, and then we're going to see if it works. So like I said, this is by Sabrent. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a USB Type-C hub with 3 USB ports. So that's one USB 3 port and then 2 USB 2 ports. You'll also notice that it's got a display out via HDMI. So that's a full-size HDMI. So all you got to do is plug in one of your standard HDMI cables and you're good to go. And then it also has this little port here. I'm not sure if you can really see it from the picture, but essentially what that means is that it has power delivery. So this is really important if, say, you have a Samsung phone. Samsung, obviously, with a lot of their higher-end devices have Samsung DeX, which essentially makes your phone into sort of a computer-type experience, but it won't work unless you have power going to your phone. So obviously, because the USB-C cable here is being plugged into your charging port on your phone, you need to have something with power delivery. So this is handy because it means that if you only have one USB-C on your device, whether that's a laptop, a phone, or whatever, you can still charge the device while using this hub. So again, super important. Make sure you got that. So if we take a look at the bottom here, basically what it does is just basically tells us what we have. So again, that's power delivery up to 60 watts. So that should be good for most devices. Now, if we look at the rest of the package, there's not much on the bottom. There's not much on the sides, not much going on here. And then basically we've got on the back just some features. So it just says HDMI output with a resolution up to 4K at 30 hertz. So just be aware of that. If you have a monitor that's, say, 120 or whatever, this guy is only going to do it at 30 hertz. So it also says charge devices with a power delivery output port that can handle up to 60 watts. And then that will depend on how much power the computer can provide. So again, that just depends on your charger and stuff like that. And then it says it's got one USB 3 port and 2 USB 2.0 ports, which we already mentioned. Package contents is just the hub itself. And the system requirements, it says Windows 10, or it will work with Mac OS. So super excited to open this guy up. And it should be pretty easy. I think it's just a pull here. Oh, it's got a little seal on there, which is always good to know. So I just destroyed my packaging, but that's all right. I'm going to throw the box out anyway. So if I can open this up, which I probably should have grabbed a knife, so I apologize. But let's take a look at this guy. So is there anything else in the box? Nope. All right, so I'm going to chuck the box over to the side. I'm going to set the actual device off to the side for a second. What do we got here? Basically asking us to leave a review. And it also says if you want to extend your warranty. I mean, look, this thing was, like I said, 12, 13 bucks. I'm not really worried about the warranty. But anyway, let's take a look at this device. So it's pretty simple sort of packaging, as you can see. It comes in this sort of like, it's almost like a, I don't know, it's a weird like kind of foam sleeve thing that the device actually sits in. And that's pretty much it. There's no instruction manual that I can see. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory anyway, but that's it. There is literally nothing else in the box. And this is the device itself. So let's just take a look at the build quality here. So the cable itself is sort of a rubberized texture feel. It doesn't have any nylon braiding or anything like that. But again, I can't imagine it getting kinked up or tangled or anything. I mean, it's so short anyway. Now, the connector end itself is plastic. So there's no metal here except for the obviously USB-C connector. And if we look at the unit itself, it's actually quite attractive, especially if you have a black computer. I think it's kind of, it's minimalist. It doesn't, it's not going to contrast against a black computer, which I have. So obviously, if you have a MacBook or something like that, where it's that space gray or whatever, you might want to go for something that kind of matches your computer. But like I said, for the price, this thing is going to be fairly simple, and I actually like simple. So if we take a look at the ports, obviously on the end here, I know it's really hard to see, but that's your full-size HDMI port. And if we look here, it's got some handy markings to let us know what's what. So here's a USB 2 port, USB 2 port, USB 3 port, and then your power delivery port. So again, that's where you can charge your device when this thing is connected. So yeah, so like I said, it's pretty small, it's pretty slim. I actually quite like it. I think the design is, again, no frills, but I like no frills. I should also mention that this is totally plastic as well. So, I mean, it doesn't feel super robust, but I mean, the build quality is pretty good. I mean, it's, I would have preferred it to be metal, but again, at the price point, I mean, plastic is fine. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my Samsung phone and I'm going to connect it to the monitor just to make sure that everything works. So just bear with me. I'll grab my phone and we'll get a stand going and we'll see how this guy operates. Okay, guys, I realize it's a little hard to see. I apologize because, again, I'm still in America at my parents' house, so I have a limited sort of workspace. I'm sitting actually at my childhood desk where I used to do homework, so don't have a ton of room. But as you can see, I've got the USB-C hub connected via the PD port, so that's your power delivery port. So I've got that hooked up to a charger. I've got the HDMI cable plugged into the HDMI out of the hub, and that's going into this old HP monitor. And as you can see, it's mirroring my phone. So my phone is here, it's connected to the USB-C hub, and it's chucking it up onto the monitor. So like I said, I have to turn DeX on if I want to try to use what I should also mention is that I know it's really, really hard to see, but on my phone here, it does say that it's fast charging. So that means that obviously the power delivery here, whoops, my phone almost took a dive. I apologize. The power delivery is working. It is delivering power to my phone. Now, like I said, DeX will not work unless you have power delivery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn DeX on just to, again, double check and make sure that this is actually working. So if you don't have power going to your phone when you have your Samsung phone connected to an external monitor, it will just mirror what your phone does. So again, DeX needs that power to be on. I'm going to turn DeX on, and it is working. I'm going to try to angle this. I apologize. I'm working with limited. And as you can see, we've got DeX working on the screen here. So if you've never seen DeX or you're not familiar with it, basically what it does is it sort of emulates a Windows sort of experience. So it just takes your phone. You can access all of your apps through the DeX portal. Now, what I'm going to do is I have a keyboard, an all-in-one sort of multimedia keyboard. So it's this guy right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug that into the hub. And I'm going to see if it's recognized, which it should. So just bear with me. I'm going to plug it into the hub, which I seem to have a little bit of difficulty doing. Not really sure why, but let me try again. It's just getting the USB in the hub is actually quite hard for some reason. Not really sure why. Now, I'm not getting any response from my keyboard, which is a bit concerning. So as I said before, I connected the little dongle to my keyboard, and it's not responding. So that's a bit of a bummer. I'm not really sure why. I'm going to try a different USB port and see what happens here. If I can. Like I said, it's really, really hard to get these USBs into the hub itself. I'm still not getting any sort of response. So you're gonna have to leave it with me, guys. But I'm a little disappointed here because while I'm getting Samsung DeX, we're getting power delivery, we're getting the display out onto my monitor. I am not getting any response from the actual USB itself. I'm not sure if that's a faulty USB. I know the dongle works because I just pulled it out of a laptop and it was definitely working before. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. I'll have to sort of mess around with it. I apologize. But as I said before, this is one of the cheapest hubs that you can get. The power delivery works, the display out works, but I can't seem to get this dongle to be recognized. What I can do real quickly is just see if one of these USBs work. This is like the most ancient USB you've ever seen. It's only a 1 gig USB, if you can believe it. And it does recognize on my phone here, so I don't know if you guys can see it, but it does say USB storage added. So I'm not really sure why the dongle isn't working. The only thing I can think of is maybe this keyboard is not compatible with Android devices. If that's the case, then that's a bit of a bummer because, you know, obviously if you have Samsung DeX, you want to use a mouse and a keyboard with it. But the good thing is that obviously the USB port works on this device, and just not really sure why that dongle isn't working. But anyway, like I said before, this is one of the cheapest USB-C hubs you can get. So if you're looking for one that does 4K, again, only at 30 hertz, but if you're looking for one that does 4K, has a power delivery port so you can charge your devices or use Samsung DeX or whatever, and has a couple USB ports, I mean, I would definitely go for this. It was, like I said, I think it's about 15 bucks right now. I'll leave a link down in the description so you guys can pick one up if you want. And, you know, they do from time to time include a coupon. Like I said, I got mine for about $12 or $13. Can't remember, but that to me is pretty cheap, and that's pretty much a steal. Like I said, it's plastic, so it's not the fanciest thing in the world, but if you're into that sort of minimalist but functional sort of device, then obviously the Sabrent USB-C hub is definitely the way to go. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. That's going to be it. Stay tuned for the next episode. It's coming soon, and I hope you guys had a great holiday, and I will catch you later. This is Gizmo Joe, signing off.